as it seems more and more likely that this will be the 2026 New York Yankees roster as constructed today. A lot of fans are upset, thinking that the Yankees have not done enough to make this team better. We're just basically running it back from 2025. But what if I tell you that the Yankees rotation in 2026 could possibly be miles better than in 2025? What's going on, guys? King of 161st shit. I'm back in another video, and before I make my argument here, let's go over what the rotation was and what it's projected to be as of today. The rotation in 2025, right after Gerrit Cole got hurt, right after Luis Gil got hurt, it was Max Fried, Carlos Rodon, Marcus Stroman, Will Warren, Carlos Carrasco. When you say Marcus Stroman, who from March and April had an ERA higher than the amount of innings he pitched, is your 3 starter, that's when you know there's issues here. Yes, Marcus Stroman did give us some quality innings in June, and to me, I give him a lot of credit for that. But early on, he did cost us a lot of games. 12 earned runs in 9 1/3 innings will not cut it in Major League Baseball, and he was our middle rotation starter. You had Will Warren coming in probably a year too early for a full season, along with Carlos Carrasco, who has been basically done with Major League Baseball for a few years at that point. Starting rotation was an absolute mess, and it showed early. Now, let's look at what 2026 rotation is projected to be. We will not be starting with Gerrit Cole. We will definitely not be starting with Carlos Rodon. The rotation as of today would be Max Fried, Cam Schlittler, Luis Gil, Will Warren, Ryan Weathers. There are a couple repeats in there. Max Fried is back to being our ace, at least to start the year. He's coming off of a great 2025 regular season. We have Will Warren, who's coming in with another year under his belt. You're hoping that that means he's going to be improved off of what he did last year. But you're getting some newer faces in there. Luis Gil did not start last year because of some elbow issues. As of January 28th, 2026, he seems healthy and ready to go for the Yankees. And if he's healthy and if he's performing, we saw it in 2024, he could be a huge contributor to a team that made the World Series. Lightning fastball with a crazy wicked changeup. Yes, there are control issues with Luis Gil, but he is a net positive for this rotation at the very least. The number 2 spot in this rotation is taken up by what will be rookie year Cam Schlittler, who showed us everything he has to offer in the postseason. Against the Blue Jays, he gave us our only quality start, and then against Boston, gave us a performance that made him almost immortal in Yankees lore. 8 innings of 0-run baseball, north of 10 strikeouts. The talent is there. You hope he could sustain it. But with that talent there, him being at that number 2 slot is all but certainly a positive for this team. And even going through the months that we're going to have, we are going to get Gerrit Cole back at some point near the second half. We could possibly get Clark Schmidt back by the second half. We will get Carlos Rodon back after the first month, which means this rotation by the second half could look like Gerrit Cole, Max Fried, Carlos Rodon, Cam Schlittler, and Clark Schmidt or Luis Gil, with one of them going to the bullpen, adding depth to that spot. And speaking of depth to the rotation and the bullpen, our 5 starter to start the year, Ryan Weathers, is exactly that. As a young left-handed pitcher, Ryan Weathers has experience in the league, yes, has injury issues, but as of today, he looks healthy, he looks ready to go, has a lightning fast fastball, but that ends up being one of his worst pitches. Because he doesn't know how to locate it, that is where Matt Blake comes in, to where he will be able to help a guy like Ryan Weathers at least improve that arsenal, at least improve it a little bit. Hopefully, it makes the difference in either keeping him on the field or keeping him productive. But when he was on the field in 2025, in the 38 1/3 innings Weathers pitched, still put up a less than 4 ERA and a 1.28 whip. He was still pretty productive, especially for a guy who's going to be our 5 only until Carlos Rodon gets back. Once Carlos Rodon is back in this rotation, after a month, Ryan Weathers will be slotted into the bullpen where he will provide extra depth, a lefty, something that we lacked in 2025, to that bullpen. Is the pitching staff perfect? No. Would the pitching staff benefit from another trade. Yes, if the Yankees were somehow able to just ship out a fuck ton of prospects and get Joe Ryan, this might be one of the best rotations in baseball by the second half. It could be a top 10 rotation as of opening day if we got Joe Ryan. But if this team is as constructed and we stand pat, this team laps 2025, especially in the starting rotation. If we look back at the time of Carlos Carrasco could barely throw 87 miles an hour. Yes, there were a couple games where he was able to get away with it. Pitch for contact, get soft contact, get balls on the ground. Basically the same way Marcus Stroman had to adjust and try to use that formula. Sometimes it worked. Like I said, Marcus Stroman had a really good June, a 1.5 ERA in north of 4 starts. Carlos Carrasco had a couple starts where you looked and said, holy shit, he's doing this. But that is not sustainable in today's Major League Baseball, where pitchers are throwing 100 miles an hour when you are an old and deteriorating pitcher. Some pitchers can make it work. Back in the day, Nestor Cortez made it work, but it only works for a short period of time. Now with this rotation coming into 2026, you see behind Max Fried, you are getting depth of youth, which is huge in the fact that we're not going to be getting the automatic loss type of starters anymore. Cam Schlittler, one of the best young pitchers in baseball, it seems like. Luis Gil, 2024 Rookie of the Year. Will Warren, another year of experience, who was a top prospect. Ryan Weathers, who's also a guy with a lot of potential, who has a lightning fast fastball. Go to the bullpen where you have a David Bednar now over Devin Williams of last year. You have Camilo Doval, who can be up and down, but certainly an upgrade over some of the stuff we had last year. Losing out on a guy like Freddie Peralta sucks. Because imagine this rotation of Max Fried, Freddie Peralta, Cam Schlittler, Luis Gil, Will Warren, with Ryan Weathers now already in the bullpen. That's a two-headed monster at the top with a young beast and former Rookie of the Year. That would have been the key. But we can't always get everything we want. But the way this team is constructed, if this team, like everyone says on social media, is just running it back, or in 2026 from 2025, the Yankees were the best offense in Major League Baseball. And part of their problem early was that we had automatic losses on the mound. I don't see one pitcher in this rotation right now who is an automatic loss. And that right there makes this team and this starting rotation better than last year's. But let me know what you guys think. Do you guys think that this rotation is better than last year's? Let me know down below. Like the video if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new. Baseball is right around the corner. Pitchers and catchers report in a little over 2 weeks. I can't wait. I'll be covering it every step of the way once it starts. But until next time, I'm out of here. Take care.